Alright, so we're gonna set up a trigger area around this little ball over here, this sphere. And that is going to be a trigger area that's going to show up at canvas. The canvas is just going to say press E. If we do that, then then it's going to show another canvas. So it's just going to be 2 canvases, 1 script, and 1 trigger area. So only 4 things that we need to worry about. Now, on our rock ball, it's got a collider already. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a second one. I'm going to add a box collider. Now this box collider I'm going to use as a trigger area around it. So I'll make the box collider a little bit bigger just with its size values. There we go. And I'm going to click on this button here, is trigger. Now this area is a trigger area, it's not solid. If I was to play my game, we're here to learn, that's a team. I can now, I don't know what this cube is, I can now walk into the area, but the sphere itself is a solid, so I will not have to worry about that. I do not know why this cube showed up, but it can go down here. Alright, so now we're going to do the canvas. So right click, UI, canvas. This here is going to be an overlay between the screen, or it's going to be an overlay on the screen. Just like in any other, or in most video games. And I'll show what this looks like just with some text right now. Right click on the canvas, UI, text. There it is. My text is going to say press E to interact. Press E to interact. Now I'll just do a little bit of styling with this. Make it look a little bit more exciting. Something like that. Change the font color to be over there. Font color to be white so it shows up in my background. Font size to be way bigger. Maybe not that big. And the width to be a little bit wider too. There you go. Press E to interact. So I should now see this constantly plastered on my screen at the moment, because this canvas is always on, so it just says press E to interact all the time. Now I only want this to show up when I enter this trigger area, so I'm going to do that right now. Now it's very important to name your elements well, otherwise you're going to get confused in these next few steps. So I'm going to call this text press E underscore text, and I'm going to call this E prompt underscore canvas. So now, enter. Let's put a backslash again. So now I know that this is going to be the canvas used for prompts, and this is the text that says press E, and I'll need that later on. So on the E prompt canvas, I'm going to turn off its canvas element up here where it just says canvas. Check, it's gone. And now I can, and now it will be turned off. So I'll just quickly show that. Oh, there we go. No prompt yet, but I want it to show up when I get near this ball. So let's do some coding. We'll go to rock ball, and down the very bottom, we're going to add a component. We're going to add a new script. So this script is going to be for the E prompt. So I'm just going to call it E prompt. This way I can use it again and again and again later on. Or I could call it show canvas or anything that I really want, but I'm going to call it E prompt for now. So create and add. So it's created a script. there's the script name, ePrompt. If I look in my assets, there's my script. To make things a little bit neater, I'm going to put it in a folder called scripts, where all my other scripts are. Alright, currently empty, currently doesn't do anything. Let's do some coding. So we'll double click on this, or in here, it doesn't really matter where, but you'll open it up in Visual Studio, which is on this screen, is it? It's opening up. It's taking a while because I've probably got other things open in Visual Studio, knowing me. Yeah, it's got a bunch of other stuff that doesn't matter. Please skip all those. It is loading, it's just being a little bit slower. There we go. So, ePrompt, the name of our script right here. It's the same as up here. Zoom in a little bit to make it easier to read. Now, we need a couple things. First off, write a comment. Let Unity know we will need to access the UI. So we just need to really quickly write down, just like we'll do. Oh, sorry, I've written something strange. Just like these things do up here, they were auto created. These things are allowing us to use various collections and commands that Unity has access to. It doesn't let us use all of them, just a few. So we're going to have to ask. Or not ask, we're going to have to say that we want to use different things. We want to say we're using Unity Engine .ui. This will let it know that we want to use the UI elements that Unity can provide us. Cool. Now, there's a few things that we're going to want to do in this script. We're going to want to get access firstly to that canvas so that we can turn it on and off. So we want a public PBLS canvas, and we'll give that canvas a name in our script. We'll call it ePrompt, just so that it's easier to use later on. So now there's a canvas called ePrompt. Currently don't do anything with it, and we can declare what this is in Unity, which is the good thing about Unity. Alright, so we don't need these, so I'll get rid of them for now. We're going to create a void, so a space for some code. This is going to be an on trigger enter, so this is going to be accessed whenever a trigger area is entered. The trigger area of wherever the code is located, which is currently our rock ball. So on trigger enter, collider, it's going to collide with something. It's going to collide with an object. We'll call it the other. So something has walked into my trigger area, or something has entered my trigger area. I can check what that thing is. Let's write a comment. Something has entered the trigger area. I want to check, is that other thing the player? Now we can check if it's the player, because our player over here in Unity has will have the tag player. So its tag is equal to player. So that's how we know it's the player. So if that other thing has dots tag equals player. So if the other, which is right here, the thing that collided with our trigger area, has the tag that is so equals to player, capital P, then we want to do a few things. Just to test that it's working, we're going to write debug.log. The player approach the orb. Alright, that's what we're going to do so far. Now we'll check if this works in Unity, and we're not currently doing any oh, sorry, canvas ePrompt can't be the same because that's the name of us. ePrompt canvas. Here we go. Awesome, so we'll jump back into Unity. There's our player, our rock ball, has a big trigger area, set to trigger, and has that prompt. It's asking us, hey, what is the ePrompt canvas? It currently doesn't know, it says none, but we're not going to set that up right now because we don't currently do anything with it. So we're just going to play just to confirm that this works, just to test that it works. There's our orb, but what we should see is when we get near it, down in the console area here, damn, there-ish, it says the player approached the orb, just like we told it to, so that works perfectly. Alright, now we can do the canvas actually showing up. So we'll output the player approach the orb just to keep it there, just to keep making sure that this is being accessed. We could get rid of it in theory. Now we're going to show the ePrompt canvas. Alright, so we know the name of our canvas, ePrompt canvas. ePrompt canvas dot enabled equals true. Control S. Back into Unity. Excellent. Oh, clear that up. So the only thing we need to do is on our rock ball. Now we can tell it, hey, what is your ePrompt canvas? Oops. What is your ePrompt canvas, where it currently says none? We can do this in a couple of ways. We can click on this little icon here and then select it. Or we can drag the canvas from our hierarchy over to this area. And now it's getting the canvas element of this object. This object's canvas element is currently disabled. So what we should see is, following our code, when I walk into the trigger area, it should firstly say the player has approached the orb and show the canvas element of the object ePrompt canvas. So let's play that. Oh, there we go. So get close to it. There we go. The ePrompt canvas is up. Press E to interact. It's stuck up on the screen because we never tell it to turn off. So let's do that. Back into coding. This is on trigger enter, so when we get into the trigger area, we want the canvas to turn off when we leave the trigger enter area. So we'll start that off. Another void. This one's going to be on trigger exit. So when the trigger area is being left, this is going to be called, once again needs a collider, because it needs to be colliding with something, and we'll call this one thing leaving. The thing colliding with us that's going to trigger this is whatever thing is leaving us. But once again, check if, in this case I called it thing leaving, has the tag that is equals to player. So check if it is the player leaving the trigger area. And we do this because objects can also trigger a trigger area. So in our game currently, our floor would be triggering the trigger area, and if there was any way to move this, then that could leave the trigger area and trigger this. So if the thing leaving has the tag of player, we want to do the opposite of this. We want this ePrompt canvas, or I'll write it in a comment first, hide the ePrompt canvas. ePrompt canvas dot enabled equals false. Alright, so let's test this out. We'll go back to our Unity game. And we'll play it. We should see us going into the canvas area, into the trigger area, sorry, and the canvas showing up. Excellent, and then we should see us leaving the canvas trigger area and our canvas hiding. So there we go. So now it only shows up when we're near the orb. Excellent. So what we want is something to happen if this is showing up and we press E, then do something about it, okay? So we'll exit out of this. And what it's going to do is it's going to show a new canvas. This canvas here is going to have a bit of a code attached to it. But what I'm going to, tutorial-wise, I'm going to end this one now, stop the recording, and start a second recording, which is going to show us that.